Yo, what is up, everybody? Your boy E-Man from the Average Joe Sports Talk Podcast coming at you with another edition of the Uncrista Sportscast. Coming to you solo today, my boy Cricket and I. I'm saying this week was a little rough with both of our schedules. It was mainly my fault, you know what I mean? But next week we'll be back at it like a bad habit, another joint episode, probably Monday or Tuesday. Anyway, look, time to kiss the NFL season goodbye, and it's time to move on. Not going to harp on the Super Bowl. Didn't go my way. I went for the 49ers. Placed some money on the 49ers. It did not go out well. With that being said, I'm not going to harp too much on it. I'm going to give them my quick takes. Kansas City, at the end of the day, the pedigree rose to the top. Andy Reid was better prepared. Kyle Shanahan, that stigma is still there. He's 0-3. Shame on me once. Shame on me twice. Hey, fool me 3 times, whatever the saying goes. Kyle Shanahan is that dude that unless he wins it, the monkey's still on his back. Those are my takeaways from that game right there, man. Look, they had all the time and all the opportunity in the world to win it. Look, most of the team is coming back for the 49ers intact. I think I saw from Ray McLeod and Juwan Jennings, and you could tag Brandon Ayuk, but something's going to happen there. They've still got pretty much the same exact team, so they're going to be back in the Super Bowl. That's my take. Shout out to the GOAT, the baby GOAT. He is definitely putting his name in the conversation with 3 Super Bowls, 1 back-to-back. Really difficult to do. It's only been done a few times. Look, Patrick Mahomes, at the end of the day, did not have a great game, but he did what great quarterbacks do, find a way to win. And when the time mattered most, the ball was in his hands, and he made plays. It is what it is. Not going to harp on the Super Bowl because I think everybody in the sports video world has spoken about it. Your boy just likes to do things a little bit different. But forget about the Super Bowl. Forget about the NFL. Till next year, we're going to win some money next year. Let's get busy. Let's talk about what we came here to talk about. And, of course, we are approaching the midpoint of the NBA season, okay? The midpoint of the NBA season. That means the All-Star game is coming. That means that your boy comes at you and gives you his takeaways, all right? Giving you what my top 4 MVP candidates up to this point in the NBA season. Every year I give you my take, give you my picks. Usually one of these 4 guys is going to win it because I'm hitting a couple of times. And yeah, man, we're for full throttle in the NBA. The All-Star break is coming. Love All-Star Saturday night, dunk contest. McClung will be back. Jaime Jackass here from Miami is going to be at the game as well. We got Jalen Brunson as the Knicks. Rep them Knicks, baby. Going to the All-Star game. Let's go. We'll talk about the Knicks in another episode. However, MVP talk is real, baby. It is absolutely freaking real. And I want to give you my candidates. And also, I'm going to tell you who I think should win it. All right? It is what it is, man. So that's how we get down. We go ahead and put this up there. We're going to break down each individual's my top 4. Shai, Gilgeous-Alexander, Giannis, the Greek Freak, Luka Doncic, and, of course, Nikola Jocic. A lot of these guys are always in the conversation. Shai, Gilgeous-Alexander is brand new to this combo, but he's been having a hell of a back-to-back season, and his team is winning. So he is deserving of being in this conversation. So with that being said, look, I'm going to give you my takes. I'm going to break down why I chose these guys and what kind of opportunity or, what kind of percentage they have in winning this bad boy. All right. And then after today, go ahead and put your pick on one of these 4 guys. Bet your money on this. Let's start with the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetakeoumpo, man, former MVP himself. All right. Giannis Antetokounmpo right now is having a great season. All right. Giannis is number 4 in scoring. All right. I believe Giannis is in top field goal. He's also in the field goal leaders, having a hell of a year at over 30 points a game. And the Bucks are the 3rd seed in the East. They fired Doc Rivers earlier on. And I mean, they hired Doc Rivers Rock Rivers, I'm sorry, they fired, I forget the coach because Giannis wasn't happy, but Giannis having an excellent season, averaging a double double at 30.7 games per game, 11.4 rebounds, shooting a astronomical rank ninth in the league at 61% field goal, 6.3 assists. I believe this is a league high for him, a career high. And look, he has a great team. He has a great team on him. He is the reason why the Bucks are always successful. They got him some help with Dame, big game Dame Lillard. But I think this team is still a little bit unproven. But Giannis is always going to come up to bat. This guy's always going to be in the conversation. I mean, he's been in the conversation now for the last 4 years. You can't hate on Giannis. This dude is legit. He's putting the numbers. He's definitely putting the numbers to be the MVP, and we're going to see. Again, I want to give you my definition of the most valuable player in the NBA, right? I like to go a little untraditional here. I know everybody looks at the seeding and the records and the playoff success. I like to look at from a standpoint of how valuable is this guy for this team, and if he wasn't in that team, how bad would this team be? And taking Giannis out, having Dame Lillard in this team, you'll still have a pretty successful team. Maybe not third seed in the East because Giannis brings a big load. But however, they would still be pretty successful. So Giannis goes down, they got a lot of room, and they still got a little bit of a cushion in order to stay within the top seeding of the East. So, hey, Giannis is the man, bro. I like Giannis Antetokounmpo, man. He's one of those guys that plays really hard. Love his devotion. To this point, I didn't think he had any diva in him or any LeBron-ness in him. LBJ-ish kind of ego here. But this year, I think he definitely put a LeBron James move in trying to get his coach fired, and they end up choosing a coach probably of his liking and his approval. That's the status that Giannis Antetokounmpo is in right now in the NBA. You can't blame him. But at 30.7 points per game, 11.4 rebounds, 6.3 assists, and number three. Let's see, they're number three in the East at 35 and 20. My Knicks are number four. We're having a little bit of a slide here since started boys on a 4-game losing streak since we have all these injuries. But we got to make it back when everybody comes healthy. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with that. He's having a hell of a season like he always does. So Giannis right there is my first pick, and I'm not giving these guys in any order. I'm just picking Giannis first because that's who I have my slide first. So Giannis is the man, and my first pick for MVP candidate. All right, let's see who we got next. Next on the dial, we have. Let me go over here and slide this over. Former two-time back-to-back MVP Nikola Jocic, last year's champ. Again, this year doing it all over again, doing what the Joker does. Just stat freaking, he is just like stuffing the stat sheet like he always do. 26.1 points per game. That's 13th in the NBA. 12 rebounds a game. That's fourth in the NBA. 8.9 assists. That's fourth in the NBA. All right. 57.7% field goal. 14th in the NBA. Jeez. What can this guy not do? Right? What can this guy not do? He's just pretty unfair. The Denver Nuggets are 36 and 19. They're fourth in the Western Conference league here. But however, they're just cruising right now. Between Minnesota, who's a first seed, and Denver, there's a difference of 2 games. That's how tight this Western Conference is right now. Listen, at the end of the day, it is what it is, man. Nikola just does and comes to work daily without any issues. Um, Look at it again. Look at these stats, man. I mean, you can't go wrong with this. The guy is averaging a double-double, not a triple-double like last year. He's a little lower in assists, but some of his games have been astronomical this year. I mean, I didn't go through this with Giannis, but I mean, he's had a 27-point game. I mean, let me go over here. Let's go back to the splits here. This season so far, he's had a 40-point game, 42-point game earlier this season, 42 and 12 and 8. It's just the way this team is playing. He just is the spark. He's like the man, the machine that pretty much flows through the Denver Nuggets, man. He is the identity of the Denver Nuggets. One of those things that if Nikola is hurt, this team barely scratches to make the playoffs. No disrespect to Jamal Murray, but this team will barely scratch to make the playoffs. They made the playoffs without Jamal Murray. They just haven't won it, but it'll be a hard time. Nikola is such a big factor in this team. Absolutely, man. What can you say about Nikola? The guy is the intangibles are just built different. Never seen a center that can do what he does in the game. Forget about hitting a three-pointer, but just his touch and feel for the game. His passing ability, man, is like Magic Johnson in the center position, right? He could see the floor. He could telegraph plays before they happened. Nothing fancy about this guy. Nothing luxurious. Can barely get off the ground, but he has such a tough and soft touch when he comes to scoring the basket down low. He is stronger than most people think he is because he's a wide body individual and he just might bowl you over. Great footwork. He's not fast, but he has great footwork, soft hands, can rebound the football, can handle the football. But what's beautiful about him is his ability to read the floor, his ability to hit guys in the corner, his ability to hit guys in the back door, his ability to just stay there and create plays with a pick and pop, whether he is popping to hit a jump shot, popping to roll to the rim, or whether he's popping to just fake and pass it back to somebody down low or find somebody in the wing wide open for a three. That is the beautiful thing about this game. And last year in this playoff and this championship run, homie just went ham. Proved to be that he ended up proving to the world that there's only one Nikola Jokic, and he is the first. There's other players, right? Other centers like Joel Embiid, who would be in this conversation if it wasn't hurt, but he might not even come back this season. Or if he's got to come back, it's going to be towards the end of the season, depending on where the Philadelphia Sixers are at. Now, there's guys like him, man, who's powerful, who can score, who can do a whole bunch of other different things. Amazing players, right? I mean, you got Kyle Thompson, uh, um, yeah, the center from the Timberwolves, who's having a great season. You have him who can score in many other ways, but this guy trumps them all. He is the best center in the game. No disrespect, all right, to anybody else. No disrespect to Joel Embiid. You know, Joel Embiid might score 33 points a game here, but Nikola Jokic with his assists, he generates another probably 16 to 20 points per game, right? And you add that up there, man, he is giving you a production of 26 points per game, about 9 to 10 assists per game. That could be another possible 20, 22 points that he's generating with from coming from him. And that's where he is so valuable. So freaking valuable, man, because when he's struggling, he could find other ways to make plays. You know what I'm saying? So he's so rare for a center that have all these skill sets, right? The great passing ability, reading the floor. I mean, he just is a smart player, man. A smart player doesn't have any of the athletic ability, like I mentioned. Doesn't jump out the rim, out the gym. Uh, Barely gets off the ground, but he does have a great post game. He has a great self touch around the rim, and can also hit the outside shot. And one more thing, he's a killer. Killer mentality, Mamba mentality for boy Nikola Jokic. I mean, everybody can hate on him, but the dude is just a different type of player. I mean, come on, 26 points a game, 12 rebounds, 8.9 assists. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. All right. Everybody loves Embiid because scored 35 points a game, but Embiid doesn't get you far in the playoffs. Nikola has been to the championship, there's an NBA championship and has been to the conference finals a few times. So, hey, it is what it is, my friend. Who do we got next on the dial here? The new guy, the new dude, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, right? And this is like my sneaky guy right here. I love Shai. I mean, he's last year he just came on the scene and introduced himself to the world. Everybody knew this kid was a good player coming out of college. I don't think nobody knew he was going to be this damn good this quick. 31 points per game, second in points per, actually third. Let me see over here. He is third, I think. Yeah, Shai is third in the league in points per game at 31 points per game, 5.5 rebounds per game, 6.5 assists per game, and 54. Now these Oklahoma City Thunder are currently right now at number 2. At one point, they've been the top seed. Again, it's a dog battle, all right, between 5 and 1, and only 5 games separates the top seed from the 5th seed, which is pretty wild. It's pretty fucking wild. It's not bad, not bad at all. It's a dogfight. It's definitely a dogfight. Look, one thing about Alexander, his team. Look, his team is a lot better. I mean, Chet Holmgren this year, uh, playing his first full season has helped him even have a better year because there's a little bit of relief from the defensive side, a little bit of relief from scoring as well. That's why he's having such a really good season so far this year. 31 points per game. Like I mentioned, the Oklahoma City Thunder are 37-17, 1 game behind the top seed of the Timberwolves. I mean, this team is doing work, bro. 120 points per game. It's pretty wild. 120 points per game, 7+ difference. You go home, you got to play them hard. They're 21-6 at home. A lot of it is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. My dude is balling. Is balling. And that team is pretty darn good, man. That team is. I like that team, bro. I mean, let's go in. There's a bunch of young players in the Oklahoma City Thunder that really want to makes you smile. You know what I'm saying? Really want to make you smile, right? I mean, of course, I mentioned Chet Holmgren. All right, they just acquired Gordon Hayward. All right, they got Keontae Johnson, another decent player. Jalen Williams. We got Bismack Biyombo. They got a lot of. Forget about Dort. Luguentz Dort. He's nasty. What about Josh Giddey? Josh Giddey's only 21 years old. I mean, come on. They're a pretty good team, man. Chet is leading the team in rebounds, Shai in assists and steals, and Chet in blocks. Chet Holmgren in blocks. I mean, contributions for this team. Look, let me show you. Let's get busy here. We got Jalen Williams, like I mentioned, 19 points per game. Chet at 16.7. Josh Giddey, it's at 11.5. He's their point guard. Dort, Dort is at 10. I mean, they have a really solid starting rotation and good rotation players, which I like that. I like that. Got to give Shai a shout out here, man. At 31 points per game, and he's leading his team in 3 different categories. And I think if you take him out of the mix and you don't have him this year, Oklahoma is barely fighting for a number 8 seed. All right, barely fighting for a number 8 seed here. It is what it is. I mean, don't hate on me, bro. Don't hate on me. Next on the dial for the MVP, for my MVP candidate here, this guy is always in the MVP conversation. My boy Luka Doncic. He's always in the MVP conversation. I don't know what people want to think here, but Luka is the guy that he is a phenom, right? We all know that. I like to call him a hybrid. I like to call him the Slovenian Mamba because he does have that Mamba mentality. I call him a hybrid, right? He's the first of his kind, right? He's a combination of LeBron James, Mamba mentality, Kobe Bryant, killer instinct, and the scoring ability of a James Harden. This is all new, man. 3 different things. He's different. It's a combination of all those 3 players, so it creates a brand new player in Luka, first of his generation. Probably the first LeBron James, kind of similar, low-key, whatever. But what I like about Luka, he doesn't get the respect in this game. It's crazy. But this guy is a career freaking. I mean, he's a career like 30-point a game. He's a career 28 points per game scorer. Last year had his career high at 32. This year he's averaging 32.4. Embiid is now injured, so he's first in the league in scoring. Remember about this, Luka is only 24 years old, 8.8 rebounds per game, 9.5 assists. That makes him 3rd in the league. Unlike the other guys, he doesn't shoot it as well overall because he takes so many shots in his team, for his team at 49%. But he is having an MVP season. We know what Luka can do every single time on the floor. Probably has the worst team out of all these MVP picks right here, out of Shai, out of Gilgeous-Alexander, out of Nikola, out of Giannis, has the worst team. But with that being said, Luka Doncic's team right now is sitting at 7 in a really, really tough division. If he was in the East, right now, Luka Doncic's team will be 3rd in the East. But they're in the West. They are 7th right now. And because they're 7th, he doesn't get the respect. All right, he doesn't get the respect. They will be third in the East right now at 30 with 32 wins. With 30 MC with 37 wins. But 34 points a game, we know what Luka can do, right? A man can shoot the ball. All right. You see, let me make sure I got that right. At 32, no, I'm sorry. That he would be fifth in the East. Okay, at 32 wins. My bad. I misread that stat line. But Luka Doncic, we know what he could do, man. He's been into the conference finals, all right, with a team on his back a couple of years ago. Been in the playoffs a couple of times. I've had insane high performing games with Luka in the playoffs. He hit some game winners multiple times. Upset the Suns a couple of years ago when they called him the Luka special. He just turns it around on Devin Booker. Love what he brings to the table. This dude has fun playing basketball, man. He's always smiling. The bad thing with Luka here that he runs out of gas at the end of the year and during the playoffs when it counts the most. And until he doesn't change that narrative, that he could play a full, strong series, right? And can carry his team to the end. Hey, Luke, they're always going to look him as an underrated player. But Luka is, again, always in the mix, always in the conversation of MVP. Hey, it is what it is, man. I don't know who can disagree with me on this, but Luka is legit. Luka Doncic is the truth, man. And honestly, he might win the unanimous MVP, man. The second players ever to do it. Remember, Steph did it a couple of years ago, a couple more like 10 years now. But I think Luka can be that guy. Luka can be the guy that can be the next unanimous MVP. Oh, excuse me. And again, sorry about that. Again, I don't care about his team's record. He has an over 500 record. He plays in a tougher conference. Dude, don't disrespect him because he doesn't have a great team. Don't disrespect him because he may not got deep into the playoffs. Don't disrespect him because he may not have a number one seed or number two seed. But if he makes the playoffs and they win a playoff series, I know we don't count the playoffs as a determinator or a factor to give somebody the MVP. However, hey, he's going to have the best numbers in the regular season. And if they make the playoffs as well, why not give him the MVP? I think it's time that Luka is in the mix, bearing any injuries here. If there's no injuries, nothing happens. I think Luka Doncic is going to take it. And he might win. He might be the unanimous. I don't know. Maybe. I love Luka, bro. He's a great dude. Great player. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Luka Doncic, who's always in the MVP conversation. Yeah, let's bring this down. So, yeah, I speeding along right now with, cricket not here today, which missed my boy. We'll be back next week. And of course, that's what I got for you. What's cool is that we're right here at the All-Star break right now, right? I think we are at the All-Star break. Today is the last night of games before the festivity starts, right? Thursdays, I think we have some future games or whatever the case may be. All-Star Saturday night. On Friday night, we got celebrity game and other stuff. But I got to show you something really cool, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, Mac McClung was practicing, or T-Jazz, I think, ended up. You know who T-Jazz is, right? The viral superstar who does all the trick shots and all the good stuff. I think he showed up to Mac McClung's practice session, and these two cooked up something really freaking awesome. All right. Wow, this is pretty cool. Let me go ahead. I'm going to share this with you. Let me set it up. But they did something. I mean, I guess Mac was practicing his All-Star game, I guess, dunks and stuff like that. And T-Jazz, who was an innovator himself, big YouTuber, showed up to the facility. Come on, let me just get this over here. Internet is acting slow, man. I mean, I'm hardwired to this shit too. Oh, really? Come on, don't give me no flaky here. Let me go ahead and refresh this right here. Hold on a second. But yeah, it looks like Tristan Jazz pulled up to Mac's training session here. There you go. This is pretty cool. I love my guy Luke. I love my dude here. Let me see if you have studios. Let me share this with you. Check out this dope. I'm gonna play it a couple of times. This dope ass dunk right here. Look at this. Man, Mac got hops, bro. Him and T-Jazz are almost, they look like about the same height, huh? Whether or not I think Mac is taller. Look at this. Look Ooh. And one more time. Ready? Because it's short. Look at this. Boom. Let me see. He's high, man. His head is almost at the rim, and he's a short guy. No hesitation. No hesitation whatsoever. No hesitation whatsoever, man. I love these young punks, bro. I love these young bucks. You know what I'm saying? I love these young bucks who innovate the game, right, and just come back at it, man. I love these young bucks all day, man. They just come out here, and Mike McClung is one of my friends. I used to love him in high school. He hasn't had a fair share here in the NBA. He's moving around from team to team, but at least this dunk contest is keeping him in the league. And I hope he gets a break. I hope he gets a break in the NBA. All right. With that being said, we're at that moment. But before we move on, let me play a word from my sponsors, BetUS. BetUS is the largest betting website in the world who provides you with the highest sign-on bonus, 125% sign-on bonus. All right. Largest in the game, up to $2,500, which is great. The link, my link for this bonus, for this particular sign up, it's in the description of this video. Go ahead and click on it, and you'll be able to get 125% bonus because you definitely want to go ahead and make some bets, man.
I've been to 56 straight home games.
I've tailgated 61 times.
I've been to 31 practices.
I've collected 17 autographs.
I've had 27 beers spilled on me. Make that 28.
I've got one sports book.
I've got one sports book.
I've got one sports book.
BetUS.com.
Sign up at BetUS and get a massive 125% bonus.
Yep, there we go, baby. Check out the link in the description. Go up to BetUS, sign up for the highest, the largest sign-on bonus, 125% sign-on bonus. And with that being said, we've reached the point of the show where we go and we hit you with the top trending sports, the top trending news in sports for this week so far, just in case you missed it. Go here. Case you missed it, baby. And this is the first headline I want to go a review with you. So earlier this week, sources came out that Warriors made a bid for LeBron James at the trade deadline. Can you believe that? It was like a clandestine 24-hour window prior to the trade deadline that included owner-to-owner conversations. All right. The Warriors made an unsuccessful bid to convince the Lakers and LeBron a trade to pair them with Steph Curry. Pretty freaking wild. I don't know how that would have looked like. At 39 years old, LeBron still played at a high level. I don't know how this would have worked. I don't know if LeBron James would be the type of player that would take a backseat to Steph. I know Steph would probably take a backseat to LeBron, but this would have been nuts. This would have been nuts, man. I mean, supposedly, there was conversations between on Wednesday with Rich Paul, who represents LeBron in Clutch Sport. There was text messages back and forth trying to convince James to join Golden State. Yeah, man. We have Draymond Green involved, who's the one who recruited Kevin Durant. So, I mean, hey, man, it was the Warriors. I'll give Mike Dunleavy Jr. some props here, man. He risky. He went out there, man. I give him props. He went out there to do his thing. He went out there to bring a big fish. That would have been wild. I don't think nobody would have expected that. But yeah, there was a rumor that there was a last-minute ditch to get LeBron James to the Warriors. All right, pretty wild. Pretty freaking wild, man. What do we got next? All right, we have Anthony Lynn, former assistant head coach and running back coach, 49ers assistant head coach and running backs coach, Anthony Lynn, all right, has joined the Washington Commanders. So last year, I know the Commanders made a play for Lynn and did not work, but here's the reason why Lynn is with the Commanders this year. The number one reason is that Lynn is a very close friend of Dan Quinn, who's a new head coach, and their GM, Adam Peters. So that's a big hit, man. Big hit for the 49ers in losing Lynn. And also the fact that they also fire Winks, their defensive coordinator. All right. They've lost two guys in the same week. That coaching staff seems a little depleted after the way they lost the Super Bowl. So, yeah, man, Anthony Lynn is now a commander. And right now, Kyle Shanahan is looking for new assistant coaches. Anybody, put your application in because the San Francisco 49ers are freaking hiring. You know what I'm saying? Tiger Woods, all right, my boy Tigger. Tiger Woods starts, tries to make a comeback. He is back, all right, in center stage at the Genesis Invitational. I think this is the first time he's played since the Masters. And today was day one for Tiger Woods, all right, at the Genesis Invitation. And Tiger, did not do too great, but did not do too bad. Overall, 1 over par, tied for 49. Had himself some bright spots. Hole 1, had himself a birdie and a par 5. Then he bogeyed the next 2 out of par 4. Came back with another birdie on hole 4. Overall in the day, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 birdies and had himself 5 bogeys. So finished the day, the front 9, he finished with a 34, 1 under, and then he finished with a 38 overall. So, 1 over. Look, every time Tiger plays, life is good. Every time Tiger plays, it's good for golf, and I think it's good for everybody else in the world. I love Tiger, regardless of what you think of him as a person. But he is the greatest golf player that ever lived. He's the guy that influenced me to play golf. A kid from Brooklyn, a kid from the hood. I didn't have any money. All right, at that time I was a teenager, and I was able to buy some clubs from a garage somewhere in Brooklyn, or I was somewhere in Long Island. I don't know what I remember I got it, but it was a used set of clubs, and I took my happy ass to the driving range, man, and started hitting balls without no instruction. But it was because Tiger. I was going back to the late '90s. Tiger was the dude that was playing golf, and he made kids like myself who grew up in the inner city to pick up a golf club and swing that bad boy. The only thing I swung before that was a baseball bat, playing baseball, of course, and other extracurricular activities. And the last headline I want to cover, as you know, I'm not a big political individual. I am a big political guy, but I don't share my political views in sports. As you'll know, if you watch me from Cigars and Sports with Jim, you know that we hit certain topics. We're more about we're old school, man. We're Generation X. We give it to you how it is. We don't sugarcoat anything. Listen, we're the toughest motherfuckers in any generation out there. All right. And I'm going to tell you right now, man, I don't like to mix politics. But first and foremost, the Chiefs celebration yesterday ended up in a bad note with a shootout, which ended up killing 2 people, injuring like 20, anywhere from the age of 8 to 43. It's shameful. It's a shame. It could have been a lot worse. And thanks to a couple of heroes, a couple of good Samaritans who went out there and decided to tackle one of the shooters and strip him of his gun, avoided a lot more damage than anything. And I want to play you the clip of one. His name is Paul Contreras, who's been accredited with tackling one of the suspects, all right, at the parade. And you know what? We make a lot of issues about the gun. We politicize the gun issue. We politicize what controls you want to do. But in this case, and like other mass shootings, somebody out here stepped up, wasn't afraid of his life, and went ahead. And for him, what he did, he actually minimized and prevented way more injuries and other deaths. Here's Paul Contreras, who is the hero from last night.
One guy was hollering, saying, stop him, or catch him, tackle him, whatever. And he's just bailing running. And out of nowhere, I heard that guy hollering, so I'm just like, okay, well, I'm right here. And I didn't even think about it. a reaction. I didn't hesitate. It was just do it. So I went to go tackle him, and another gentleman did the same thing. And as I'm tackling him, I see his weapon either fall out of his hand or out of his sleeve because he was wearing a long jacket or like a Carhartt. So when I seen that hit the ground, I'm like, oh, you know, we got to take this guy down. And so, like I said, I did, and another good Samaritan did, and we held him down. And it seemed like forever, but it probably wasn't. It was like 30 seconds holding him down, and me and the other gentleman are hollering at ongoers, you know, where's the cops? Where, you know, get the cops over here, get the cops over here. You know, we got him.
The NFL, the fucking media overall, not just sports, start making, they love to divide everybody by picking and choosing and going after everybody's views. That's what they do, man. But nobody really focused on the bright light where most of the mass shootings happen. There's never someone that steps in there at a time. Yes, there was some lives lost and there was some people injured, but it could have been a lot worse. It could have been way worse. And we have this individual here and others. There was a couple of more guys who were able to be brave enough and go after a guy with a gun in order to like tackle his ass to the ground to prevent more mayhem, more injury, more death. Shout out to this Kansas City Chiefs and Paul Contreras. Amen. He's a hero in my book, and I want to shine the light on him as opposed to the bullshit of trying to, like, you know, use the gun issue and the issue with people and taking two different parties and colliding with each other so American public can just go fucking ham against each other. It's not the way we solve problems, man. There's a big problem in this country, and it starts with the youth. It starts with the mental health of the youth, and there's a reason why a lot of this shit is happening. Not going to give you my point of view politically because that's not what I do when it comes to sports. I like to talk about sports. If you want to catch me on my political views, then one day I could just do a political show and we're going to go crazy. And you may not like my views, but hey, at the end of the day, man, it's a free country. You got a freedom of speech. But I want to shine the light on this Good Samaritan, Paul Contreras, all right, of the a great fan and the dude that had balls to do something, risk his life because anything could have happened. I could have got shot in order to prevent more death, more injury. Shout out to this guy. There should be more people like him. That's it, baby. This is what I got today. All right. This is what I got today. That's all I got today when it comes to the podcast. All right. Next week, Cricket will be on board. We're going to go back to the usual 1 hour podcast. But again, check it out. My MVP picks, my MVP candidates, I just gave them to you. Pick one of these 4 guys because one of these 4 guys is going to win it. Go make your futures bets right now. This is your boy E-Man from the Average Joe Sports Talk Podcast coming at you with another weekly live, the Unscripted Sportscast. We will see you next week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you all. Your boy signing out. Peace out.